Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Last 50. My name is Mary and this is me chronicling my journey to lose my last 50 pounds. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel, and please make sure you smash that bell so that every time I upload new content you can get a notification. So here we are. I think it's week 5 or 6. And I didn't upload earlier this week on Monday like I normally do. I apologize. But we were having some technical difficulties, and also I was exhausted because I worked pretty much every night, and I was just tired, and the thought of recording and then editing just made me exhausted when I thought about it. So yeah. Don't have a weigh-in to show you guys, but I will be honest, I did weigh myself and I was up a couple pounds, so I was probably back up around 182 on Sunday, and today I'm filming, and today is Thursday, and I'm back down to 179. So I will have a updated weigh-in for you next week, next video. This week I've been on my game here. I've been really working towards doing everything and really watching my food, and I've made it to the gym every single day, and I've been really proud of what I've been doing. So and there's a child here, and
I'm Ava.
Yes, you are Ava.
And I'm 4.
Yes, you are.
I'm so excited for my birthday. My birthday's over in Pentic.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can I go now? I want to talk to the people. Thanks, honey. Go. Mommy loves you. Go. Please go. There's a child. So this is my life. Yeah. So this is also kind of why I'm exhausted. So as I was saying, I've been really on my game. I prepped like no one's ever prepped before last weekend. I've been hitting the gym for cardio and for lifting every day starting on Sunday. So today's Thursday. Today was my day. I took a day off today because I had a lot of errands to run with the kids and stuff. So today is my day off. I'll be back Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. So yeah. Obviously when I work my program really works for me, and I guess I can just say that I was just not in the mind space yet to get there. I keep making all these excuses, but really it wasn't in me yet to delaze myself. That's not even a word, but delazify myself. I don't know. Not be lazy anymore, get off my ass and do it consistently. And the funny part is as soon, so like I said, Sunday I started, as soon as Monday, Tuesday rolled around, I was like, God, I feel so much better. My body feels so much better. And if I don't go, I don't feel good. So yeah, it's kicked in. I'm getting back into my groove now. So I'm really excited about that. My kids go back to school on August 26th. I am so excited for the routine to get back. So I hope to really make some push real forward with that. So that's kind of my update with me. Nothing else has really changed. My diet plan, my meal plan is pretty much the same thing. It's always been. It's boring, but it's what it is, and I'm fine with it because I don't like to have to think about it too much. So really no changes in meal plan. My workouts haven't changed. I've just been doing them. Go figure, right? So that's kind of the update on my end over here. So I was thinking I've had a bunch of topics I wanted to talk about, and I put a question out to some of the audience saying what do you want to talk about? And this kind of came back with the most number, I don't want to say votes, but most, yes, please talk about that. So I have 2 things. So I think they're kind of related. So the first thing I really want to talk about is that trap that we all fall into of comparing our progress and our success to other people. I'm very guilty of this. I was very guilty of this about probably 3 or 4 years ago. So it's kind of not early, but towards the beginning of my journey. And I was kind of just really bummed because I was working out every day. I was watching what I was eating, and I was dropping every month. I was dropping probably between 4 to 5 pounds, and this is when I was still in the high 270s. So I had weight to drop still. And so I was like getting bummed because like there were people who were going to the gym with me who I knew weren't really working their plan very well, and like were coming and they were kind of working out, kind of hanging out, kind of working out, but really not like staying on their meal plan 100%. And they were like, this is like, not people, like one person who I was kind of hyper focused on, and they were kind of dropping a lot of weight. And I was just like, wow, I was kind of getting like really bummed because I'm like, I'm putting all this work in and I feel like I'm making this big effort, but I'm not getting the same results as somebody else who's putting in like what I feel like is half the amount of work. And then I kind of got to a point where I was so bummed about it, I kind of expressed it to one of my friends at the time, and they let me in on a secret that I shouldn't really beat myself up because this person happened to have weight loss surgery, which I had no idea about because not something it's my business and not something that this person really openly talked about. But that put it all into perspective for me. So that was kind of like my wake up call to, don't compare myself to other people because I don't know what people have going on, like whether bad or good. Like in this sense, it was a positive that they had weight loss surgery. They felt that they needed to do that, and that's great, and go for it. But obviously they're going to lose a lot of weight faster than someone like me who's just dieting and exercising. So that's kind of a really convoluted way of the point I'm trying to make, which is, every person's body is different. Every body is different. We're different physically, the way that we wear our weight, the way that our muscle tone is carried, we're built differently. Physiologically, we're different. Our metabolisms are much different. What works for somebody, it might not work for you. So like our body's metabolism are different. We process foods and nutrients and fat and everything differently. And where it gets stored is different in all of us. So, just that basic biological truth of being humans that have different bodies, that's there. And then you add in a multitude of other things that could be going on. People have illnesses, people have conditions, people, could be on medication, they can be, have had surgery, they can have a lot of different things that are causing them to either not lose weight as fast or losing weight faster than you might feel you should, you are, or, you could have a condition or be taking medication or, just that's the way your body is. And you haven't quite, figured out yet what that sweet spot is that works. Like some people feel like fasting is really good. Other people are low carb, high protein, and, they work out this way and they work out that way. And everybody's bodies react differently to what we put into them and how we use them. So it's really, really like a mind screw to compare ourselves to other people because it's never going to ever be a level playing field because none of us start at the same baseline ever. So now that's easy enough to say and to hear, but to really take that in and process it is another thing. Because we've all been there. We've all sat in the gym and saw somebody. We all know somebody. We all just, have had that feeling where we're like, I just don't understand, or what am I doing wrong? Or, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And it's just natural, I think, as a human being to look at other humans and compare the way we are to another one. And we really have to take a step back and try to remind ourselves that that is the case, that we're all different and we're not all going to be on the journey the same way, or the path is not even going to be the same on everybody's journey, because it can be really detrimental to your progress and to your confidence and your self-esteem and to your motivation to want to keep going when you're just focusing on other people. And the thing is, we all do it, and we have to just remind ourselves that we're on our journey. This is about us and what we're doing for ourselves and how we take care of ourselves and what we're doing to better ourselves or benefit ourselves. And what I do may not look the same as what someone else does, and how my results are not going to look the way someone else's are. And I just have to accept that that's what it is, and know that, you know, that's a different person. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I'm just going to keep pushing forward, because eventually there's going to be a payoff. And I know that sucks, and that's not something that anybody wants to hear, because I'm just as impatient. Trust me. Like, again, I said, if I could take a pill and like be done with it all, I would do it in a heartbeat. But that's just not the way it works. So I know that's not a real great answer, but I think that those are thoughts that we need to keep in mind when we think about comparisons of ourselves to other people. And it kind of is related, I think, to a bigger picture of body acceptance and what body acceptance means to you. And I think it's a touchy subject, because there's a lot of different definitions. Some are very broad, some are very specific, and sometimes they clash a lot. My take on body acceptance is that I am accepting that this is the body that I was given, and I get one body to last me one lifetime, and that it's my responsibility to take care of my body in the best way that I see fit, so that I can go and live my life the way I would like to. Now that is different for every single person. For some people, that means that they're going to be on a vegan, no grain diet, and they're going to work out and run 10 miles a day because that's what makes them feel great. Fine. Have at it. Go for it. I salute you. You're awesome. Other people, that means that they're going to, go on walks every night. They're not really going to pay attention to what they're eating, but they're going to just eat. They're not going to be snacking obsessively, and they're not going to be overeating. They're just going to be like existing with like some moderate amount of exercise or activity, and they go about their lives and they're fine. And that's great too. Some people are just genetically born to be twigs and healthy. Some people are genetically predisposed to being overweight. It's just the way it is. Other people's choice might be to live a sedentary lifestyle. That's fine too. That's your choice. I'm not going to judge what your lifestyle choices are. My thing is that I believe in science, and I believe that there are health risks that do go along with certain types of lifestyles. Now, I'm not damning anybody's lifestyle. I'm just saying that there are risks associated with certain types of lack of activities, other high risks of doing a lot of stuff. But mostly, I think science has shown that living a completely sedentary life with no activity is just not beneficial to your body. You can have muscle atrophy, you can be tired, your metabolism won't be moving as quickly. You could tend to gain weight, especially if you're not watching what you're eating at all. And in general, it's just like you're going to be sluggish and slower, and that's just the case with being non-active. And, if that works for you, go for it. I am not going to say that's wrong, this is the right way. What I'm going to say for me is that accepting my body and being healthy means that healthy for me is what's going on internally inside my body in terms of physiological processes, what's going on inside me mentally in terms of where my head and attitude is at. But I also feel like quality of life is a huge part of healthy. And I can tell you that when I weighed 418 pounds, while I didn't have a enormous amount of health issues, I really didn't have any health issues. Maybe my blood pressure was slightly elevated, but nothing crazy. I would take that blood work done, and I didn't have high cholesterol, nothing looked bad. There was no nothing indicating that I should, I'm going to drop dead or I'm on a really bad path. I just physically was very overweight. I do have a family history of diabetes and cancer. And that was something that I did keep in mind, but I really wasn't thinking about it because I'm like, I'm my teens and early 20s and I'm going to live forever and I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. But I did care when I started getting a bit older. And when I was a senior in college, when I really hit my highest weight at 418, that's when I really noticed it wasn't so much health issues. There weren't any health scares or anything like that. What was going on was I felt like my quality of life was decreasing in the sense that I couldn't walk across campus without losing breath, being short of breath. I couldn't walk upstairs without being short of breath. I couldn't fit into seats at the movie theater, which was like, I can't go to the movies. I couldn't sit in desks in classrooms. Things like that. For clothing was impossible to find. And it just made me feel like, you know, my quality of life was really not where I wanted it to be, especially as a 24-year-old getting ready to go to graduate school. You know, this was not the kind of life I wanted. I wanted to be way more active than I was. I wanted to be able to walk across campus. I wanted to be able to find clothing I liked. I wanted to be able to go to the movies and sit someplace. I wanted to be able to go to amusement parks. I wanted to be able to fit, you know, in cars, like just a variety of things. And, you know, at the time that I was experiencing this, the fat acceptance movement wasn't as mainstream in terms of people knowing about it as it is today. And there weren't as many, I don't know what I want to say, instances of situations like having to buy other second plane tickets when you go on an airplane and can't fit in the seat, or, you know, just a lot of attention being drawn to situations where people have had issues because of their overweight. It wasn't as popularized. So it wasn't something that I was thinking about at all, and probably didn't feel in terms of that these were kind of like microaggressions towards somebody who's being very overweight in terms of not being able to find clothing, not being able to fit in seats, things like that. I just I'm going to put it out. I grew up in a family or in a time where, you know, that was not accepted. It was not something that was acceptable as a body type. You know, it was an issue. And I guess because I was basically told from day one that my body wasn't the right size or anything, I kind of always had this demonization of being overweight myself. And now it's not that I feel like it's a demonization of being overweight. It's more about me feeling better in my body. I, at 418 pounds, was extraordinarily depressed, had no stamina, had no real activity in my life. I never felt great in terms of, you know, just overall, like, had no energy and things like that. So I made a decision that I needed to do something to change. And when I decided to accept the fact that, yes, things have to be changed in this body because I want to live a better life, and I started making changes. And that's kind of how that's kind of frames the definition of what body acceptance is for me. I accept that this is my body, and I also accept that it's okay to change it if I need to make myself feel more comfortable in my own skin and in the space I occupy in the world. And I accept that of other people. So if someone else feels like they need to have a ton of plastic surgery, or, you know, they want to gain weight, or they want to lose weight, or they want to be really muscular, or they don't really want to, you know, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, and as you go about the world, I'm fine with that. That's your terms of acceptance. But I know for me, I was not feeling my best, and it probably was going to lead down a path of an unhealthy future for myself had I continued to gain weight. And there were a couple of health issues that I think were actually very much related to my being overweight that I dealt with. So I'd say that, yes, my physical health, my mental health, my physiological health and my being able to move about in the world at the way I wanted to definitely improved when I started to accept the fact that I had an issue that needed to be dealt with. Now, I just finished watching a movie this week called Fat-Topia, and I totally suck because I don't have the director's name in front of me. It's a documentary film from the UK. I will put a link to the info down below, and it's basically about the fat acceptance movement today in the UK and in general, like on social media. And the director really wanted to find out what fat acceptance meant, how those in the movement felt about fat acceptance in terms of scientific evidence that shows that being overweight is not healthy, how they felt being fat in the world was in terms of society accepting it, talking about thin privilege. There's a lot to unpack in this film. For the most part, the director did present a lot of evidence towards that, great to be fat acceptance is great and accepting your body is great, but there's a lot of issues that come with being overweight. There's a lot of health issues that become with being overweight. There are social issues that come with being overweight, etc., etc. The problem is that he barely got anybody who would argue the opposite or even argue for just straight out body acceptance, because the fat acceptance community immediately demonized this man, immediately labeled him as a fat Nazi. I mean, literally made posters with his face on it that had the words fat and Nazi on it. He was fat shaming, felt that because he was a white, heterosexual, cisgendered, thin man, he couldn't comment on any of this. He had no place in having a point of view on the topic. He was shut down almost at every single attempt that he made to talk to somebody from the fat acceptance community. And that really bothered me, and I felt that was kind of infuriating. And I'll tell you why. Basically, for the bottom line reason of, if we don't talk about these things, there's no way we can ever come to an understanding or move on from them. And to shut down a conversation before it even starts is just wrong to me. And that's just my opinion, and that's how I feel. I would have liked to see a healthy discussion about the topic. Not saying that would have happened, but I would have at least liked to have seen some sort of conversation about it. And I think that the immediate reaction of, we're not going to talk to you at all because you're coming at this from a completely wrong perspective, and assuming that he's going to make the type of film that he was making was just wrong. And there is science behind some of the health issues with obesity, and I think to turn a blind eye to them is also wrong. I'm not saying that if you're fat, that automatically means you're going to be unhealthy and sick and you're going to have diabetes and you're going to die an early death or you're going to have a heart attack or whatever. Not saying that those things are one and the same, one makes the other happen. But there is science that shows that one does influence the other. That doesn't mean it's a guarantee, obviously, because the thinnest person could drop dead tomorrow of a heart attack. I know plenty of thin people that have diabetes. But I think to ignore the fact that that's a possibility is also wrong. Now, in terms of thin privilege, yes, I do absolutely believe that thin privilege is a thing. I look at it as we live in a society that is completely geared towards a certain size of people. And if you fall within out of those bounds of what it is, small to extra large, you are pretty much losing out on a lot. Whether it's space on airplane seats, space in movie theater seats, the way that designers design clothing, the ability to find trendy, fashionable clothing, having to pay more money for clothing, and just, every single image that you're bombarded with is of a thin person. And the funny part is that we all know that the average size woman is now like a 10 to 12. And we do not see that represented in anything. Like, very little do we see that represented in any kind of advertising, in any media for advertising. When we see fat women on TV, in TV shows, it's always some kind of pathetic, or like, you know, she's gonna make her life different because she's gonna lose a lot of weight, or something's gonna happen and she's gonna change the whole way, and, you know, she's unfulfilled and not successful. Meanwhile, you know, the overweight male is, you know, happily married to a really hot chick with kids, and he's just like funny and everyone loves him and he's great. So yeah, it's not just skewed towards thin people, it's also skewed towards, you know, it's very anti-fat female people. So yeah, so I would have liked to see a little more discussion and possibly, you know, an understanding between both sides for the movie. I'm probably gonna have to watch it again and take some serious notes before I want to give a huge review of it. I may get back on here and do a like more specific review, but I think in terms of just a general overview, I found it annoying and aggravating that there was no other side present. I just don't like it when people are like, we're not going to Steve, my dog, apparently he doesn't like it either. I just don't like it when one side is like, I'm just not going to speak to you, like you're not worthy of speaking to because I already know how you're going to go. And I just think that, you know, if we don't create a healthy way to talk about these kind of issues, then there are always going to be problems and there's going to be no understanding. I'm not saying that having lots of discussion is going to change anything, but it really would have been nice, especially in a movie, to have that side presented and have a discussion, so just reach more people, so maybe make people feel like and understand what it means to be a heavier person in today's world. And, you know, maybe by seeing that, people can change a little bit of their behavior and how they treat people, and, you know, make the world a little bit better. I don't know. So that's kind of like my 5-minute discussion about that movie. I have another child here. Hi. Bye. Wormy. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what I want to, this video is getting really long, so I'm going to end it here saying that, you know, I will link everything below. I'm really sorry that I don't have any of the information right in front of me because I really was ill-prepared. What are you not mean mugging behind me about? So that's all I've got. I definitely have some other topics I want to talk about. Please comment below if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, let me know. Let's have a discussion. I love having discussions about stuff like this. Let me know what you think. Keep it respectful and nice, and we can have a conversation. Let me know how you're doing, if you're on your own journeys. Here you go. If you're on your journey, stay strong. I believe in you. Keep up the good work. I will talk to you all in a week, and I'll have a weigh-in for you. Say goodbye. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. Stay strong. Bye.